Here we go. Hi, I'm Megan Burns. I am the program manager for Health Professions Advising. I work with Cindy Seltzer. Dr. Seltzer is the director of Health Professions Advising. And between the two of us, we make up the team. So today we're going to talk about coursework primarily. We're going to talk about classes that we take pass-fail, AP classes, what you major or minor in, studying abroad, gap years, and then more specifics of how to map out your courses. So let's see, coursework. So common courses include 2 semesters each of biology with lab, physics with lab, chemistry with lab, and then organic chemistry with lab, math, which includes 1 semester of calculus and 1 semester of statistics, social sciences, psychology and sociology, and English and a writing intensive. We also include 1 semester of biochemistry, and then we've really started to advise folks to take an additional upper level biology class. The University of Texas systems, as well as UC Irvine, have started to require a 3rd semester of biology. So we like to recommend either genetics, cell biology, or physiology, but any upper level biology class will work. So health professions schools set their own requirements. When it comes time to apply, you want to research your top choice schools to see what your target schools require. We would like you to start with your state school and branch out from there. And then you can review admission statistics from MSAR, which is a product of AAMC, which will give you detailed information on schools, requirements, GPA, things like that. But that's something you will look into as you get closer to when you want to apply. So sample prerequisites for the University of Massachusetts. I just picked this sort of randomly. Their required courses are biology or zoology with lab. They want 2 semesters with lab, 2 semesters of general physics, English composition, literature, or writing intensive. So a lot of schools will take any kind of humanities class or English class where you're writing a lot of papers, but there are a couple state schools, the SUNY system comes to mind, where they're really going to want you to take an English class. Then you also will take calculus, 1 semester of statistics. And then their chemistry sequence is a little bit different. So they want 4 or 5 semesters of the following list of inorganic, organic, and biochemistry. And so they've mapped out how you can take those classes. Just for fun, I put in Harvard as well. So a little bit different. The behavioral sciences, the psychology and sociology, they are encouraging you to complete that, but it's not necessarily required. We often require it because it's on the MCAT, and we find that's helpful for our students. Biology, 1 year lab experience, and then chemistry and biochemistry, 2 years of chemistry, including organic, physics, 1 year math. So Harvard has 2 different schools that you can apply to, the Pathways program and the HST program. So there's a slightly different math requirement for each of those, and then the writing requirement. So here you'll notice it's writing, not English specific. These are all readily available information on the website of medical schools. You can look up any medical school and find all of their prerequisites, hopefully fairly easily. I just use these as a sample today for fun. So pass-fail classes. Information about shadow grading is included with your transcripts, and we will not reveal your shadow grades. I know there are often questions about this. It's not a problem. We've been getting folks into really good medical schools, and this has been Wellesley's policy about the shadow grading for a long time. So beyond your first semester, we request that you not take prerequisite classes as credit, non-credit, or pass-fail. Obviously, last year during the pandemic, there were some changes to that, but for the most part, you want to take your upper level courses for a grade. AP IB credits. This is a school by school basis. Some schools are going to accept those credits for lower level courses, but you also want to take higher level courses in the sciences in addition to that AP credit, particularly things like chemistry. And the AP credit has to be posted on your transcript at a maximum of 4. This is my favorite part. You can major or minor in anything you like. Often students major in the sciences, neuroscience, biology, chemistry, biochemistry, but we are a liberal arts institution. We do have lots of applicants who have majored in all kinds of different things, from economics to Spanish to music to classics. Really anything you want, as long as you get those science prerequisites in as well. Studying abroad. This is a question that comes up a lot. Depending upon when you want to apply, you can study abroad for a semester, a summer, or over winter session. We do request that you not take prerequisite courses abroad. There's this one exception, a biochemistry program that's class that's taught by Wellesley faculty in Dresden, Germany. So, and this is a little data about folks who take gap years. I know there's often a lot of misperceptions about gap years, but most Wellesley students and most students nationwide do take at least one gap year. Often it's doing a role as a clinical research coordinator or working in a lab, things like that. Not backpacking through Europe, although that would be fun. So mapping out courses. I know some of you have come and met with either me or Cindy already, and we've created a custom course plan. We're happy to meet with folks anytime to go over that. It's not written in stone. You can come back anytime, revisit as your plans change. And also, as you go through your time at Wellesley, you want to meet with your academic dean and your major advisor to make sure that you're getting all of those requirements in, and all your graduation and major requirements. When you meet with me and Cindy, we have some knowledge about those things, but really we're here to help you with the prerequisites for medical school. All right, and this is one of our favorite white coat photos. All our white coat photos are favorite photos. That's a white coat ceremony of a recent Wellesley grad. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute, and we can open it up to questions. You can shout them out, you can put them in the chat, you can send me an email afterwards letting me know if you have any questions. I know I kind of went through that quickly.
I had a question. So I guess it's kind of related to shadow grading, but I was looking into some summer programs for first year students or freshmen, and they ask us to put in like our current GPA, but we don't have a GPA, especially from only first semester.
Right.
And if the applications are due like by January, there's pretty much no way I'll have a GPA, and even my transcript will be kind of funky. So
Right.
I guess, what do you recommend doing in this situation?
So if you have to send a copy of your transcript, whether it's official or unofficial, it will explain the shadow grading policy. If you just want to show what courses you're enrolled in for T1 and T2. If you have an opportunity to write a cover letter for any of these, I would include that information in that. Like I said, schools and jobs and research labs, they're all really familiar with Wellesley's shadow grading policy. We don't find that it's a hindrance for our students. It's pretty well known, and we're not the only school that does it either. So either it'll say something in the transcript if you need to submit that, or I would include it in a cover letter.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Does the introductory neuroscience course cover the psychology requirement for most med schools and the MCAT? So for most schools, psychology is not technically a requirement. It's definitely one of the, it's really good to have it. So as far as the med school application, there is no real psychology requirement. The MCAT, I think it's a little tougher. If it's it will probably cover some of it, but not the broad strokes that you would want for the MCAT. That being said, it all depends on your study style. You know, if you think just reviewing the MCAT information is going to be adequate to prepare you for the MCAT, then I think it's fine. What kind of specific extracurricular activities do med schools look for? Do you have any recommendations for what we can be doing outside of coursework? So we definitely like to see volunteer work. It doesn't have to be medically related. So the three other pieces of your med school application are going to be, aside from your coursework and the MCAT, are volunteering, research, and clinical experience. Volunteering and research don't have to be medically related. You can volunteer with any organization that you have an interest in. What they're really looking for there is, can you relate to people who are different from you? And do you have a willingness to help others? Medicine is a service profession. As far as research goes, same thing. We've had, like I mentioned, folks who've majored in economics and have done their research in that field, and that's fine. They're looking to see that you know how to ask a question and come up with answers and data to support your theories. So in first year, we really like to see the volunteer work, and obviously there are some summer research opportunities. I post those a lot on our Facebook group, but you can also get them in our newsletter, which comes out every month, any of those research opportunities, as well as clinical opportunities. There's not a lot of clinical opportunities right now. There are a lot of virtual volunteering opportunities. There were several that were listed in the orientation video, which you can find on the Career Ed YouTube site. There are some with tutoring kids, some about outreach to prisons and things like that, but they're all virtual, so therefore safe to do right now and from anywhere. So if you're going home for the winter, spring there, you can continue to do those on a virtual basis. What can we do if certain courses we need aren't being offered in the spring? So I'm a big fan of being a squeaky wheel. Oh, sorry, you asked if they weren't offered as opposed to if you can't get into them. So if they're not offered, there's not a whole lot that can be done. I would make an appointment, come back to see either me or Cindy. We're doing virtual appointments now. Unfortunately, we're not on campus any longer. And see if we can map some things out. One of the other things, if let's say there is a course that you need, but it's full, I definitely would reach out to the faculty member, see if you can get on the wait list. In general, we like to talk a lot about building relationships. I don't want it to sound too mercenary, but you want to find the people who are going to be writing your letters eventually. So reaching out to faculty is going to be key. If it's not offered, I don't know that there's a whole lot that we can do to influence that. However, we can, rework your courses and see if we can find a solution. If you need a copy of your transcript, you can get them through the registrar's office. It's on the Wellesley EDU website under registrar's office. The instructions are there. I believe there's a form or an email address, but it's pretty straightforward. There is some turnaround time, so it's not going to be an immediate response, but hopefully you will get that soon. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today, joining me, the royal we. Just wanted to reiterate, anytime you have any specific questions, feel free to make an appointment with either me or Cindy, and we'll look forward to working with you in the future. One last question. Where can we find the virtual volunteer opportunities? They are in the orientation video that is on the Wellesley Career Ed YouTube site. Cindy and I did a first year orientation video. The virtual volunteer opportunities are listed there, or you can just shoot me an email and I'm happy to send them to you. My email is mburns2@wellesley.edu. If you have any questions or want to follow up with anything. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.